Hi everyone, this is Snigdha here, and we are extremely excited to welcome you to an online session on diabetes care by Cora Healthcare. First of all, thank you so much for joining us this Sunday. We wish you a happy Father's Day and the International Yoga Day as well. Before we start, just wanted to give you a few pointers on how to navigate the webinar. All participants will be on mute. Kindly keep writing in your questions in the chat box. We will address all of them at the end of the webinar. We will be conducting polls. Please click the option you want once it comes on your screen. We will be sharing the results instantly with you. The online session will last somewhere around 60 minutes, including the questions and answers. We will do a small poll now to understand your expectations out of this session. Please select the option which most suits you. Please key in your options. We'll keep this open another 10-15 seconds. Great. We have a mixed bunch, but most of the people have actually voted for, understanding diabetes better and also understanding how to manage diabetes from home. So that's great because we're actually going to be addressing almost all of these questions today. Um, I want to begin by giving you a very small introduction to the team Cora. Founded in 2020, Cora is your personal diabetes care partner. We are India's first fully integrated diabetes care platform that combines medical and lifestyle support and care. As you proceed along the presentation, you will see the QR code which will take you on the website at different points. Please feel free to check that out whenever you have the time. I'd like to introduce our panel to you now. We have with us today Dr. Soumyajit Chatterjee, MBBS DNB, physician and diabetologist by profession, with 7 years of experience working with the best government and private hospitals in Bangalore and Kolkata. He is passionate about primary care and chronic care model of treatment. Joining him is Dr. Subhashri Ray, who is a doctorate in ketogenic diet with 7+ years of experience in clinical and public health nutrition. A certified diabetes educator from International Diabetes Federation, she specializes in medical nutrition therapy, lifestyle disease management, and is passionate about empowering people in making healthy diet choices to promote better health. Also with us today is Ms. Sandeepa Kaur, MA MPhil in clinical psychology. She has 7 years of experience in mental health. Her areas of interest include health psychology, and she was also involved in health psychology, addiction, common health concerns like anxiety and depression. She was also involved in training medical officers, psychologists, and social workers on mental health and addiction through on site and virtual platforms. Without further ado, I call Dr. Soumyajit to start you on this journey.
Hi everyone, I am Dr. Soumyajit, the lead of the medical nutrition team at Cora. And we are going to do something really unique this evening. We are not here to barrage you with information. Instead, we are going to go on a journey to understand a patient's problem and their solutions. Here, I want to point out that we are going to change a term which has been used for ages. That is, patient or diabetic will be changed to a person with diabetes. So let's talk about the current pandemic and how it affects you if you're a person living with diabetes. Initial data from one of the countries which bore the brunt of COVID-19 suggests that people living with diabetes were almost 10 times more likely to die due to COVID-19 compared to people with no chronic conditions, as you can see from the data. But I want to clarify very clearly here that you are not at a higher chance of catching the disease if you have diabetes. That's the same as someone without any condition. But if you catch it, chances of developing complications and leading to fatality are much higher. Uncontrolled blood sugar leads to higher complications. Hence, it's very important for you to maintain your blood sugar to keep your immunity up. We know a lot of people have been struggling with their blood sugar because their existing health routines have gone for a toss. Stress of the pandemic has increased and it's more difficult to keep track of everything. We want to guide you on how to do this better and give you services at home to ensure you stay healthy and fine. So now I want to share the experience of one of our members. We will not reveal his name because we take patient data confidentiality very, very seriously. But for the sake of this presentation, we shall call him Mr. Shah. I'm sure many of you will relate to his experiences. He's a 45-year-old gentleman who's been dealing with diabetes for the last 4 years. Yes, it's not been a very smooth ride. He lives in Bangalore with his family, wife, 2 kids, and parents. He works in sales and marketing for an MNC, shuttling between office and frequent travel for client visits. Sales is a tough job. Work and travel used to take up most of his time. And like most of us, due to the current lockdown, his social and professional activities have drastically reduced. The rise in cases around the world, the anxiety of it soon being around his neighborhood, coupled with minimal social interaction, has made him highly stressed. Amidst this, it's difficult to concentrate and keep track of his diabetes, manage what he's eating, and trying exercising at home. In addition to all this, he is also overweight. He has an HbA1c of 7.5%, high cholesterol, on anti-diabetic and cholesterol-lowering medicines. So how do we help him? We help him by a step-by-step process so that he can control his diabetes at home and manage his stress at home. So the first step involves monitoring his glucose. Let's see how we can help him understand that. I want to present to you the road to type 2 diabetes. And there's Mr. Sharma. On the road, there are traffic lights. And like all traffic lights, the green indicates you can go ahead. Here it's the normal. So the normal A1C, the fasting blood glucose, and the glucose tolerance. So when do we consider the orange light? It shows that we need to look both ways before we cross the road. That's pre-diabetes, and those are the values. But when it's red and he has to stop and take a hard look at his values, that's diabetes. And these are the values. So we were told that his HbA1c was 7.5. So he's a person living with diabetes. So what are the other tests that are important at this time? And how does he monitor? So the different ways include glucometer and HbA1c, checking his blood pressure on time, checking his lipid profile on time. All this monitoring can save his life. I'll tell you all of them and their importance a little later. Let's first come to glucometer. So what's a glucometer? You've seen that machine, right? That helps you take a snapshot of your glucose value. What sugar value do you have at that time? We know it's important for people on insulin, but why is it important for everyone else too? It's because it helps Mr. Sharma to modify his behavior and be in a routine, and it helps his doctor to give him the best medicines. So I want to ask everyone, can you tell me which one of the values taken from a glucometer is important in case of Mr. Sharma? A, fasting, B, postprandial, C, both. Please post your answers. I'll give you 10 to 15 seconds. I hope everyone has answered, and please click the submit button. So great. A lot of you understand that it's both. It's always both the fasting as well as the postprandial that is important. These values help his doctor to decide when his glucose levels increase the most. Fasting gives a good indication of his values throughout the night, whereas postprandial tells his doctor how his control of glucose is after meals. Based on this, he can modify Mr. Sharma's medicines and suggest diet and exercise. So let's see the next thing. That's the HbA1c. That he still doesn't understand. We've been hearing about it a lot. Let me give it to you in a very simple manner. As soon as a red blood cell is born to carry oxygen from your lungs to different parts of your body, glucose molecules in the blood goes and attaches to the hemoglobin inside it. Now that's the percentage of hemoglobin tagged with glucose. And that has a direct correlation with the sugar you have in your blood. Now the RBC stays in the body. Its lifespan is 3 months. So HbA1c shows his average glucose level for the last 3 months. So now that we know HbA1c, how does it help his doctor? The HbA1c actually helps his doctor understand at what level should he set his glycemic target. The more complicated and older get relaxed targets of 8 to 8.5%, but someone young gets a very strict target. Can you guess where Mr. Sharma's target will be? Please answer on the poll. Is it A 6.5%, B 7%, C 7.5 to 8.5%, or between 8.5 to 9.5%? What should his targets be? Please post your answers on the poll. So I see a lot of people have suggested between 6.5 to 7.5. Absolutely. But the right answer would be below 6.5% because we need to keep a very, very strict target for someone who is relatively young and has developed diabetes just 4 years back. So we need to keep it really strict. So he knows about this. Mr. Sharma knows that his target is 6.5. Many doctors have told him, but he's tried it many times to reach this target, but failed. What is different this time? What will he be able to achieve this time? So he can, by understanding the next step, that is decoding his own sugar control. I just want to quickly explain what happens, how the diabetes as a disease process progresses. So if he doesn't control his sugars, he can slide down the slope of diabetes natural history. He may start at insulin resistance, where his body basically rejects his own insulin that he's making. And he can quickly slide down to type 2 diabetes and then complications. Different complications like eye disease, foot injuries, cardiovascular disease, and kidney problems if he can't control his sugar during this lockdown. So what can he do to prevent this progression? He can continue his treatment at home. With Cora's offerings, he can stay in touch with his doctor at his convenience and keep his reports updated. Get his lab tests from the comfort of his home. Track his progress through our intuitive website. Get reminders to check his blood glucose, blood pressure, and bioparameters. Get a fully personalized diet plan and have real time support from our nutritionist. Manage stress at home with the help of our behavioral coach. And exercise from the comfort of his home. So, how does Cora actually help him? Cora helps him in taking his medications and monitoring on time, getting enough sleep, stress management, healthful eating, and all these combined leads his body to self-regulation. Self-regulation means that his dependency on medicines reduces and the body tries to return to its normal functioning. This might seem an impossible feat to many of you, especially if you are struggling with the day-to-day challenges of managing diabetes. But Mr. Sharma was able to accomplish this using a very simple step-by-step process under the guidance of the medical team here at Cora. We will cover some of these in the rest of the webinar. So, self-regulation starts with small incremental steps that we take. One of the most important being exercise. It's difficult to find good, impactful exercises at home. So we have Dr. Warke from Physiokinesis in a short video explaining how you can monitor your pulse and heartbeat during an exercise. And she will also show a few impactful and good exercises ideal for this time.
Hello everyone, and this is Dr. Shweta Warke, and welcome to the family of Cora Healthcare. And I am a physiotherapist, and I will be guiding you about your physical activity. Now, when it comes to diabetes and physical activity, we find that measuring your heart rate and knowing about how your heart rate is and how much it is when you are exercising becomes an important factor. So if you're having a smartwatch, any type of smartwatch which shows your heart rate, you're good to go. If you do not have anything like this, then we're going to just teach you quickly about how to monitor your heart rate. So for example, you can measure with your left hand just below your thumb. If you just go down your thumb, okay, you can just keep your three fingers, that is your index, middle and ring finger, just below the base of your thumb. Once you place your fingers lightly over here, you will start feeling an automatic pulsation from the artery on your hand. Okay, this artery is called as the radial artery, and you can just feel the pulse on your hand. So the idea is to kind of measure this for about 15 seconds. So let's start the timer for 15 seconds, and I'm going to count my pulse. Hello everyone, and this is Dr. Shweta Warke. Hello everyone, and this is Dr. Shweta Warke again, and today I will be going to tell you about something very interesting of how to make your normal walking into a power walk. Now walking is considered one of the very safe exercise that you can do, but as we spoke about our heart rate zones, if you are looking at it for getting your sugars in control or losing weight, your heart rate has to reach that zone so that the benefit of the exercise is received. So just, doing a chit chat kind of a walk or a very casual walk, you may consider it as a physical activity, but it will not be counted as an exercise for you to get the benefit out of it. So how do you make your walk a little powerful? Now that you are a little wary about going out because of this season, you can do a power walk right at home. One very easy way to do it is to pick up a music which is at a certain beat and then march on your place at a certain beat. So once you are reaching at that certain beat, you will see that your heart rate is also rising up. See to it that the heart rate is at such a level so that you are able to also talk when you are doing the exercises or sing your favorite song to which you are walking to. Try to maintain the pace and see to it that you are slowly reaching to the 60 to 70% of your heart rate zone. The other thing you can do is to use the power of your arms. So instead of keeping your arms loose on one side, you can use your arms in a good manner where it is coming across your body and you're using it to power up your walk. So with every step you take, you're just going to push, push, push with your arms and you can make it into a power walk. Another good idea is to also add arm movements on the side, arm movements going on the top, and do this in between. One also easy way of making this into a high intensity interval workout is to put a timer for 2 minutes, walk as fast as you can so that your heart rate is really going up, and for a minute, then you walk very slowly, bringing your heart rate down. Again, you power up and then you go up for 2 minutes and then for 1 minute you go very slowly. This is much more beneficial than going at one steady speed for a long period of time. You can see that I am still feeling with this kind of an activity, my heart rate is going up and I am showing a little, heaviness in my breath. So it really works if you do it well. If you're up for a better challenge, you can use a water bottle or two water bottles in your hand to pump up your walk. Okay, this is another idea. And now since online shopping is available, you can order ankle weights. These are weights which come in about right from I think half a kg to 1 kg to 2 kg. So you can start up with half kg and you can tie these around your ankles. Okay, or you can also tie these around your wrist, and this can also happen into a power walk. And try to see to it that you are doing this exercise for a minimum of 20 minutes, and then you can slowly increase to 30 minutes to 40 minutes. And you will see that slowly your stamina will improve and you will get benefits out of the work. Do not forget to do a good warm up before the work and good cool down stretches after the work. Thank you.
So those were some great exercise tips. I think the converting the power walk in and adding more difficulty by having a small water bottle in your hand is something which you can exchange while walking. That's great. These were some good exercise tips. With this, we move to the next section by Dr. Subhashri, who is our lead nutritionist at Cora. She would cover how diet plays an extremely important part in inching towards self regulation. She would also highlight a few easy to implement dietary changes that help Mr. Sharma during this pandemic.
Thank you, Dr. Shomajit, and hello, everyone. This is Dr. Shubhashri, and we are speaking about diabetes management during COVID-19. While we speak, I would request everyone to put your questions in the chat box so that we can go back and answer those in due course of time. So I will go ahead with the presentation. In the last section, you must have learned that how diabetes is a known risk factor for COVID-19. In diabetes, insulin resistance results in glucose absorption and its utilization in the body. As a result, the glucose keeps circulating in the bloodstream, resulting in elevated blood glucose level. Also, due to lockdown, the eating routine is disturbed and we practically pay no attention in selecting foods. Let's see how the food that Mr. Sharma was consuming resulted in increased blood sugar level. So as we see, that carbohydrate is our primary source of fuel for the body to provide glucose. So when Mr. Sharma was consuming carbohydrate-enriched food, it quickly got broken into glucose, which is then absorbed in the bloodstream. Now, as he was having insulin resistance, there was a poor absorption of the excess glucose. Due to lack of physical activity during lockdown, the utilization of glucose gets further reduced. Body kept trying to overcompensate the extra glucose by producing more insulin, which in turn increases insulin resistance further. This cycle went on. So how would be an ideal diet for people with diabetes? The goal is always to moderate the intake of carbohydrate so that there is a slow release of glucose into the system. That gives the body more time to absorb and utilize glucose. Along with carbohydrate, protein, fat, vitamins, and minerals are also important. To manage blood glucose, a healthy eat well plate, as you are seeing in the picture, is really handy. Fill half of the plate with green vegetables that can be both raw and cooked, with healthy grains and breads like oats, dalia, nachni, brown rice, multigrain bread, and then half with lean protein such as fat-free paneer. Now tofu is also available, lean chicken, egg white, etc. Small portions of fats such as refined vegetable oil, nuts and seeds, 8 to 10 glasses of water, and don't forget to take curd and buttermilk because they are the best source for probiotics, which is needed for our healthy gut. Now, many of you are thinking that all these are theory. So how do you implement this in your daily life practically when we are not going out and we are having lack of physical activity? Mr. Sharma faced the same dilemma before he joined Quora. We gave him a few simple, easy steps to manage this. And this technique is known as SMART, where the first component is S, that is substitution, where an idea can be substituting your refined sugar with dates or a small teaspoon of jaggery to maintain low blood sugar. The best example of substitution here in Mr. Sharma's case is he was craving for gulab jamun. So if we see 2 pieces of gulab jamun contains 380 calories, 71 gram of carbs, 60 gram of sugar, and just 9 gram of protein. So what did we do? At Quora, we taught him how to substitute gulab jamun with a bowl of dates oats cake, where dates brought the sweetness in the dessert. Right? This option is also super healthy because, as you can see, this contains only 230 calories, 26 grams of carbs, 0 sugar, 7 gram of fiber, and 12 gram of protein. The next component of SMART technique is moderate, which is eating moderate portions of high calorific food, such as here, if we can see that Mr. Sharma was really interested into chai, samosa, and jalebi. And as the lockdown is ongoing, we have a habit of heavy snacking. So the combo of chai, samosa, jalebi was giving him 470 calories, 80 grams of carbs, 30 grams of sugar, and 10 grams of protein. What did we do? We just asked him to take healthy brown bread, egg, or tofu sandwich, which gave him 230 calories, 26 grams of carbs, 0 sugar, 7 grams of fiber, and 12 grams of protein. To go next, we also had the third point of SMART technique is eating in moderation. So when we talk about moderation, So Mr. Sharma really loved to have biryani, and he used to have biryani, and he liked to have this food often. Now, how did we make sure that the high calorific food such as biryani can be taken in moderation and can be enjoyed at the same time? We just suggested him to have half a plate of biryani rather than having a full plate. This way, we cut down his calorie, glucose, but made sure he had joy from his eating. The other example, which we have already seen in case of Mr. Sharma, that he was very fond of samosa and jalebi, and during lockdown, we often get indulged in having yummy snacks like this with family. Well, that's fine. But to manage lower blood glucose level, healthy snack selection is crucial. So what we asked him, we just asked him to take one samosa and tea that would just give him 290 calories, 65 grams of carbs, 40 grams of sugar, and 2 grams of protein, 10 grams of fat. That's fine. Sometimes you can have that in moderation to have your joy from eating. The next component goes for be aware. So when we talk about be aware, that is reading nutrition labels at all times while you purchase any food. So when Mr. Sharma learned how to read nutrition level by checking 5 segments, that is calorie, total fat, trans fatty acid, carbs, sugar contained, then he replaced high fat snacks like Lay's with a healthy trail mix that contains nuts and seeds, which also provided him good omega 3 fatty acid. And he replaced high sugary cold drinks such as Coke. As you can see here, Coke has 39 grams of total sugar. So he completely replaced this with sugar-free cold pressed juices. We also taught him how to choose a healthy grilled vegetable sandwich that contains multigrain, which is loaded with fiber, protein, and no refined added sugar. So this way, we changed his entire attitude or awareness towards selecting food. Here, I want to ask all of you a question. Do you read nutrition level? Please answer yes or no. We will have 10 minutes, 10 seconds time for that. Okay. Okay, so 65% of you are actually reading nutrition level and 35% of you are not reading nutrition level. So those who are reading nutrition level, that's really great because then only you understand that what you are consuming. If you don't read the nutrition level properly, you really don't know that what you are consuming. And with that unknown status of intake, it might be difficult for you to balance your diet and glucose. So the last two components of SMART technique is R, that is being realistic. Being realistic means to be focused on an attainable goal. Under Cora Care plan, Mr. Sharma had a realistic goal in mind to lose 2.5 to 3 kg body weight a month. Thus, we had a sustainable weight loss. Targeting a huge weight loss at a short span of time is unrealistic and unscientific. The last component, but most important factor in SMART technique is maintaining time. Mr. Sharma was at home and he was not going out. His eating routine was disturbed. So he was having a very late night dinner. Late night dinner shot his blood sugar level. We taught him the importance of having dinner before 8 p.m. to regulate blood glucose effectively. Always remember to manage blood sugar level, take small frequent meal whole day rather than eating in bolus. We move to the next slide where, it's very important in this context to understand food safety and hygiene. So during COVID-19, it's very, very important that we know what it means, because when you are going for shopping, the disease can be contracted and the virus can be traveled with your grocery. So what we can do, always carry your own shopping bag. Use a cloth bag and not a plastic. A cloth bag can be washed and reused. A paper bag can be thrown. How about washing vegetables and fruits? This is important factor because we sometimes eat them raw. Remember that fruits and vegetables should not be washed in soap or disinfectant. Rather, you can just wash your fruits and vegetables in lukewarm water for 2 to 3 times. This way, we can ensure that the food is particularly not contaminated. In the next slide, we would learn completely different thing today. That is washing raw non-veg foods. Raw non-veg food, when you are actually washing it under tap water, doesn't actually clean it. While splashing water on raw non-veg food such as chicken or fish, harmful bacteria like Salmonella and Campylobacter, those spread. And if COVID is already present in that meat, it will also spread with that. So how do we ensure food safety in raw non-vegetarian food? First, to cook thoroughly in temperature more than 100 degrees Fahrenheit. To wash these foods effectively, you might dip them into warm water. Throw the water gently without splashing it. Also, marinating the non-vegetarian food in vinegar or curd is very helpful. So this is another important part where we hear a lot of people are asking about immunity boosting food to prevent COVID-19. Ideally, there's no single food to boost immunity. One amla a day or an apple a day really not enough to have desired immunity against the virus. Rather, we suggest have a complete meal that will collectively increase your immune system. Also, please consult a professional or nutritionist before you go ahead with an boosting food. That's really important because an expert suggestion will always help you in right selection. We recommend a trained nutritionist and doctor for this job. In this slide, we will discuss how food and stress are related. Stress or emotional eating is consuming food in response to your feelings, especially when you are not hungry. So imagine a situation like lockdown where there are a lot of uncertainties, a lot of anxiety, and a lot of stress. This actually intrigued stress eating in Mr. Sharma. So what used to happen? He used to get really upset, followed by craving for his favorite comfort food, that is ice cream. He ate more than he should. He felt guilty as he knew that ice cream was harmful for him. This guilt made him sad again, and the cycle went on. So I want to ask you the last question on craving. Do you crave for sweet? You can just submit your answer as yes or no. Okay, all right, we have the options here. Yes, so 40% of you have often craving for sweet, very rarely 24%, sometimes 35%. So what do we do in this situation? So often and sometimes is a combination of 70% of you actually have craving sometimes. So if you are having craving for sweet, we can manage two ways. We can select a healthy dessert like oats kheer. I have explained to you or you can manage your craving better. So now that we discussed the SMART tool in maintaining your eating goals, stress needs to be managed for better management. Thus, it's important that we understand how to manage stress in our daily life. To teach you how to do that, I invite our behavioral coach, Miss Sandeepa, who will also explain you the other aspects of emotional and mental management of high blood glucose. Over to you, Sandeepa, and thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Subhoshri, for introducing. Uh, so today I'm Sandeepa. I'll be talking about how a lot of psychosocial factors which play a very, very significant role in not just onset of diabetes, but also its progress. So, and stress being one of them. So let me explain you what stress is. Stress refers to body's reaction to any change that requires an adjustment or response. So there are two types. It can be physical or it can be emotional. Now, there are certain factors which cause stress, and those are called stressors. Stressors can again be environmental, or it can be bodily, or it can be something related with your thoughts. So, for example, right now, the current stressor is COVID situation, lockdown. Being diagnosed with a disorder like diabetes can also be one of the significant stressor. Let me explain you the link between stress and diabetes. So um, again, let me take example of Mr. Sharma. So Mr. Sharma is quite stressed with his office related work, and now that there is lockdown, he has to do his work at home and also take some bit of responsibility of home. All of these has resulted in increase in his blood glucose level. Now that his blood glucose has gone up and he is so worried, about what is happening, and because of that his family is also quite stressed with regards to his condition. So this which is causing a lot of conflict and which is making him more stressed, leading to increase in blood glucose level, and the cycle continues. Just a reminder that you people can keep posting questions in the chat, which will be taken up at the end of the session. Okay, now coming to struggles due to diabetes and pandemic. Uh, a lot of you might be struggling with a lot of issues. For example, like we see, work-life balance can be a difficulty. You might also be having negative emotions like feeling sad or angry and even anxious that what is going to happen. We don't know how the future looks like and what is going to happen. A lot of you might be finding it difficult to maintain diet and routine because a lot of things are not available in the market which you really need, and you are not able to follow that. Feeling low confident with regards to the current management. A lot of conflict happening with the family members because maybe either you are not asking for support, or maybe they are not providing you support. So there are a lot of things that might be happening due to diabetes and pandemic. Now, again, going back to Mr. Sharma, what are the struggles that you feel he's having due to diabetes? So we'll launch the Zoom question. Yeah. So what are the struggles do you think he's having due to diabetes? One is there work-life imbalance? Is he feeling underconfident? Is he worried or anxious about future complication? Or is there a friction with family due to worsening situation? Let me remind you there is more than one correct answer. So please mark whatever you feel is right. Okay. So a lot of you have marked work-life imbalance, worry about future complication, friction with family due to worsening situation. Absolutely right. That's absolutely correct. So yeah, we see all these three issues that are coming up when we are talking about Mr. Sharma. Now, does that make you feel that there is no way out and nothing can be done? well, we have a good news for you. We can equip you with the techniques that can help you to handle these kind of situations. So we have a variety of techniques, starting from stress management, then other is problem solving skills, mindfulness based exercises, motivation enhancement therapy, then we have cognitive behavior therapy. We also have decision making skills, which we can teach you so that you are better able to make decisions. A lot of relaxation exercises, which of course I'll be giving you one demonstration of one of the easiest, simplest exercise that you can do. uh, Handling craving, for example, if you have craving for food or even for other kind of substances like alcohol and cigarette, how do you handle that craving? Family counseling is available. Apart from that, interpersonal therapy is also available for people how to handle these situations. And with the help of a trained behavioral health coach, you can definitely learn all of them. So coming back to Mr. Sharma, like we discussed about work life imbalance, so what we can do is we can do some bit of problem solving, and also help him organize his task more, where he can learn how to organize his task based on the importance, which needs to be addressed immediately, followed by which needs to be addressed later, and become more organized. With regards to his anxiety, I'll be talking about a lot of ways to manage that, but we can use definitely relaxation, which can help him deal with his anxiety and worry. Apart from that, because we saw that his health was deteriorating and family was having a lot of they were also quite worried about his condition, which was leading to some sort of a dispute. So we can work on that as well by in family counseling, where you can be taught how you can communicate with your family, and they can also be taught how to make effective communication with you, so that these kind of situations can be prevented. um, Now, coming to uh, managing anxiety due to during the time of COVID. So one of the main issue arises when we start saying ourselves that why am I feeling anxious? This shouldn't happen to me. That is absolutely wrong to do in this situation. We all know that COVID is an extraordinary situation, and it is okay if you feel angry or if you feel sad or even if you are quite scared. So it is okay to feel like that. Normalize your feelings, and then um, another thing that you can do is have a specified worry time. By having specified worry time is that a lot of times we tend to worry so much that we are not able to focus on anything else. So having a specified worry time, for example, having a half an hour of worry time in the day, maybe you can say that from 7 to 7:30 I'm going to worry, and whenever your mind goes somewhere else, where in other times, if your mind goes somewhere, then you will remind yourself that okay, this is not the time to worry, and I will worry in my own time, which is later. Apart from that, we also watch news all the time, which makes us worried about what is going to happen and how things are. So having a specific time to watch news is also very important, which means that maybe in a day watch for an hour or half an hour and not the whole time. So that can also be done. And avoid WhatsApp messages. I think a lot of false informations are being circulated on WhatsApp, and we tend to believe in all of these. So we have to, rely on more authentic guidelines. So there is, with regards to COVID, we have a lot of guidelines released by Center of Disease Control, by World Health Organization, also Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So follow these guidelines rather than just depending on the WhatsApp messages, because those are not very reliable. uh, Now coming to how to do relaxation exercise in these kind of situations. So uh, we see that when we are tensed, our body also tends to tighten, and it affects our breathing. Our breathing becomes very shallow. So it is very important that if we want to calm our body, we need to work on our breathing. So how do we work on our breathing? So I'll just demonstrate one exercise which you can all do with me. So inhale deeply, such that your stomach goes out. Generally, we do it otherwise, that when we breathe in, the stomach goes in, but try and make conscious effort that when you breathe in, your stomach goes out, and when you slowly release it, the stomach goes in. So try it. Take a deep breath, hold it for 4 seconds, and slowly release it. You can try it again. Take a deep breath. Make sure that your stomach goes out. Hold it. Now slowly release it. And take more time in releasing than while taking the breath. So this is an exercise that you can do whenever either you are anxious, or maybe whenever make it a habit that you do it 10 times a day, and in maybe for 40 to 50 seconds each, and you can see a very good result coming out of it. Okay, so coming back to Cora, here we all work together. We follow a patient-centric approach, or sorry, the person-centric approach, which basically means that whatever goals that we design here, it's not just me or the specialists here telling you, but your choices and preferences are taken into account. What are your values that are taken into account, and the goals are made together. And same we did with Mr. Sharma. It's not that me just telling him, but together we found what are the targets which needs to be met. We respect your opinion. um, we take, like I said, we take a shared decision, and we are a group of multidisciplinary team, which means you can see that Dr. Soumyajit, he's an MBBS MD. Miss Dr. Shubhoshri, she is a nutritionist. So, and I come from a psychology background. I'm a behavioral health coach. So all of us come from different specialities, and we come and work together so that your needs are taken care, and we can give you the best treatment. So to further and also to enhance our communication, so you can come back to us whenever you want to, whatever questions you have, and we are always there to support you and guide you as and when needed. To further explain our collaborative approach, I invite Dr. Snigdha, Ms. Snigdha, who is our founder of Cora, to talk about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sandeepa. Thank you for giving me the honor of being a doctor. Unfortunately, that won't be true today. Thank you so much for summing that up very beautifully, and telling us the importance of teamwork in winning this. Like Miss Sandeepa said, please to keep writing in your questions in the chat box, and everyone at Quora are really happy to be able to solve any questions or queries that you might have. And at the end of this section, we will obviously be taking up all of your queries individually and deep diving on them as well. So I'm very happy to present to you the Cora Collaborative Care Model. It is an easy access solution to control your blood sugar naturally from the comfort of your home. Most of you have been struggling to do basic things which are a part of your routine earlier, but ever since the lockdown started, you've been struggling to be able to manage things like most of us have. And this is very similar to what happened to Mr. Sharma as well. We want you to be healthy and safe, and hence we want to present to you our services which will help you improve your health and maintain your blood sugar during these difficult times. We want to provide the following to you. In diet, we give personalized diet plans, a lot of healthy recipes, and we ensure that we help you each step of the way by giving personalized dietary coaching as well. You heard Dr. Subhashri talk about how you have to manage your carbs and how you need to ensure that the intake of that is balanced for you. Don't worry and don't feel that we are asking you to do these things without supporting you. We are going to ensure that we take in your dietary preferences and your customized requirements and be able to give a plan specially suited for that. For activity, this is the most impacted part actually for most of us, because we've been stuck at home and we've not been able to go out and manage our routine, and that is a little cause of frustration and worry for everyone. Don't worry on that part. We will provide online personal trainers. You saw Dr. Varke. We have a team of physiotherapists who will essentially be assisting you in every part. We will have group sessions which are weekly, which are going to ensure that you're excited and pumped. And as you saw Dr. Varke lead that workout, we definitely guarantee that you will have a very good time over there. We are also providing home physiotherapy sessions in limited cities so that people who find it difficult to be able to follow what we are trying to tell them on the personal coaching, we will ensure that we are able to send people in who are verified by us to be able to take care of this as well. We are also going to be giving you equipments like activity bands, etc., so that you are able to track your progress, and we are able to track your progress and help you with every bit of that. And like you saw, for especially while we are working out, it's very important that we keep checking our heart rates and see that we are doing right over there. A very important factor is to ensure your treatment continues. A lot of you have essentially not been able to continue your treatment in the past couple of months, and we want to assure you that you can be in touch with our expert medical team here. We will get your blood test done from the comfort of your house, and we will be able to do your sugar monitoring at home with the glucometers. We will be assessing you every step of the way. You need to have a good night's sleep to be able to maintain your health well. We will be providing you with meditation and sleep hygiene techniques, and one of them were demonstrated by Miss Sandeepa right now. And we will ensure that you get a good night's rest. The last but most important part is your mental well-being for us. This is an anxious time for most of us. Managing work and home chores and not being able to do many things that you like is indeed difficult and can be very stressful. Also, knowing that you might be at a risk of complications brings in a lot of anxiety, and we are here for that. You will be having one-on-one sessions with Ms. Sandeepa. We will share stress management and relaxation tools to help you navigate uncertainty and aid you in problem-solving activity scheduling so that you're able to manage your work life at home better. What outcomes do you think you can expect with us along with the services at the comfort of your home? Let's take the example of Mr. Sharma here. Mr. Sharma, after spending a few weeks on the care program, started seeing the results he always found difficult to achieve. He was able to get his health on the right path, reduce his weight, which led to a reduction in his medicines, along with lowering his blood sugar levels, and all of this absolutely naturally. What was the best part, you ask? His risk for future complications became almost zero. His stress reduced and his motivation levels went up. And isn't that something that all of us want in this current situation? Why do you think you can trust us? And I think this is a very important question. You must be wondering, how can you trust us that we will give you the best outcomes? I'll tell you a few reasons why. We don't just treat the symptoms which are temporary. We treat the root cause which gives lasting and faster results. You will get the best results because we have coaches who will take all your body needs and comfort into account before giving you treatment plans, and we ensure that each one gets undivided attention of their coach. We believe in treating the root cause, which is achieved through gradual changes guided by a multidisciplinary team of medical experts. What can you do next? We hope by now you're ready to take your first step towards healthy life choices, which is to enroll with us in our treatment programs. These are starting at rupees 2,500 per month, and these are all inclusive costs, including the doctor consultations, all the diagnostic tests, and devices, if any, which will be given out to you. If you feel you have any questions and want to see how this would benefit you, we would be happy to set up a free of cost consultation session with our diabetes experts here at Cora. However, if you feel at this point of time you aren't ready to commit to making changes in your life, we would recommend you to go for the diabetes and lifestyle evaluation, which starts at only rupees 999, and it would give you a very clear idea of what steps you should be taking ahead in the future. We hope this was a very helpful session for you, and we would now open our forum for questions. We are also circulating the survey form in the chat box. Please do take out a minute to fill it up. We would be sending a few home workouts, relaxation tips, and special discounts in our email to you. So we'll start with the first question. The first question is for you, Dr. Subhashri, and I can see that a lot of us have been answering the questions in the chat box already, but I think this gives everyone a little more time to be able to delve into the finer details of the points. So we have been asked a question that can a diabetic patient have apples, bananas, mango, and grapes in his or her diet?
Yes, I think I have already answered that, but yes, for the group, again, I will reiterate. Yes, we can have all the fruits because it contains fructose sugar, but high glycemic index food or high glucose containing food such as banana or grapes or mangoes, these needs to be taken in moderation and the amount needs to be taken from a nutritionist. So it's always the amount which matters. As we have already explained that at Cora, we don't have a very stringent plan that you can't eat this or can't eat that. I always say that it should be a combination, and you can always have everything if you are having a limitation. If you know that how much to take and when to take, then it's we are good to go. That is not a problem.
I think
Yes.
that's great, Dr. Subhashri, because you again talked about that SMART fundamental, which essentially
Yeah.
talks about the fact that you do not have to give up your joy of eating, and you can absolutely continue doing what you're doing as long as you know what you're eating and you watch out for what you're eating. So
Right.
thank you so much for that. Dr. Swamiji, this question is for you. Mr. Jitendra here has been asking us a question that he's suffering from heel pain for the past 4 months. He's taken a lot of vitamins, but he still keeps having the small pain. So he wants to understand that is he having diabetes neuropathy, or is there some other reason? He'd like to know your opinion on this.
So, hi, Mr. Jitendra. Actually, heel pain, there are multiple causes of heel pain, right? The most common, even in diabetes, being plantar fasciitis, which is like an inflammation of the soft part of your heel. That's the most common thing that you might get. And the other things include like Achilles tendonitis and other issues. Now, neuropathic pain is very specific. You won't have actually throbbing pain. It's generally a tingling, numbness, burning, or needle-like pain that you develop in the formation of a sock or a glove in your hands. So neuropathic pain is very specific for that. I'll consider talking to you a little bit more about your pain so that I can help you with the medication. But definitely medicines are available for neuropathic pain. But your problem sounds a little different. You need a proper foot exam, and we need to find out what exactly is the problem, right? So, like I told you, neuropathic pain generally in a sock or glove formation, never like only at heel. But we have to find out if there's any issue at the heel, right? Any ulcer or any injury or anything like
Sure, absolutely. There's another question where they want to understand if there are any medicines to remove stress.
that. So, yeah, absolutely, there are medicines to remove stress, but they always work in combination. It's never only the medicine. You have to combine it with, IPT, CBT, or whatever, Ms. Sandeepa will provide you. So, along with that, we can consider adding stress medicines. There are many anxiolytics available. Few antidepressants can also act as stress managing drugs. So those are always given in conjunction with something that you're doing in a psychotherapy point of view.
Yeah, just to add on to that, like doctor said that, stress management is not something that is done just with medication, because there are a lot of psychosocial issues. Each has its own cause. And, until we treat that underlying cause, that what has led you to that problem, if that is not dealt with and you don't learn the skills to handle all of them, then in long run, it is not really going to be effective. So in Coda, what we do is, we have a one-to-one session with each of you, where we can discuss about, what has led to the problem and how you have been solving, trying and finding other ways of handling that problem. Or sometimes if the situation can't be changed, then can we change our perspective? So all of these, it can't be done, of course, in this webinar that we can teach you. Of course, you need a guided session for that. So we can do that in Coda, and you can definitely come and join us.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Dr. and Sandeepa. There's another question, Dr. Subhashri, for you. Does substituting diet to consume zero sugar cause neuro problems such as dizziness and sight problems?
Well, here when we talked about zero sugar, we meant zero refined sugar. That is the added sugar, white sugar, what we add to our diet, food in addition, or we drink cold drinks, or we have sweets. So I meant that sugar. So, but the glucose, healthy, glucose, which is fiber, can be obtained from other foods such as multigrain bread, oats, and jar, and whole wheat bread. So it's not zero sugar completely, because sugar is glucose, which can be obtained from different foods. And at Cora, we are focused on giving you that better selection. So it's always the smart technique we talk about. So there will be no zero sugar phenomenon here, but if you are under medication or under insulin, so doctor would be there to check your sugar content and how much you should know. So we all work together. So he will guide me that, okay, this person might need this much carbohydrate in particular. So yes, I mean, we will supplement your diet with better options of carbs rather than simple sugar.
Sure, absolutely. There are a
Uh,
couple of, yeah,
um,
sorry, doctor,
to
please,
add
please.
to that, absolutely, if you are getting symptoms like dizziness presently, if you stop your sugar, we consider that you should do a full medicine reconciliation. Some of your medicines might be causing hypoglycemia, which you are not aware of. So I also suggest that also. So once you consult with us, we do a full medicine reconciliation, and we understand how your dosing is. And if you're, and because of our monitoring ways, we'll know where you're getting these kind of symptoms as well, if you are suffering from
Absolutely. There are a couple of questions on Quora, and we are very happy to see you wanting to inquire more. I'll read out a couple of the questions, and that is about, what are the processes that we follow? how how is the progress that will be monitored? What are the costs involved? I think I spoke about that. And are the packages that we offer customized? And happy to see a number of questions on how to become a member of Quora. So I'll start with the first question, which is on how to become a member of Quora. We are absolutely happy to have you with us and be able to assist you in this journey that we are trying to be on together. We will be sharing a form for pre-enrollment within this chat and also in the email that we will be sending out to you at the end of the webinar. We will be very happy for you to fill that out or reach out to us on our WhatsApp number again, which we will be putting in this chat box again. The second question on what are the processes that we follow and what is the progress that will be monitored. On the process that is followed, I think I would like to invite Dr. Shomaji to just take you through this for a little amount of time so that you can hear it in his own words.
Absolutely. So it's a very step-by-step process, like I told you. So once you are interested in our programs, we run a pre-assessment checkup, and how much can we help you? This pre-assessment helps us understand which plan would be the best for you. So in that, we suggest a plan to you, and then you undergo consultations with me, the doctor, then Dr. Subhashri, and then Sandeepa. And all three of us then come sit together and decide on your goals for the next month, as well as at the end of the plan ending. Then, after the decision of the goal is taken, we discuss the goals with you and see how you are you able to, are you understanding your goals, do you want to achieve your goals. That way we can reach a midpoint where both, like, you can benefit from our interventions and we can also help you as much as possible. So our main aim is to not make you fall out of the program by giving you very strict regimen, very rules. So because all can cause a lot. That's yeah. So that's why we are there to, like, throughout the program. Every week we will be consulting with you to have any problems. In between, we'll have different modules that we have especially designed for you in the form of videos, slides, podcasts, a lot of interactive sessions that will engage with you and teach you and educate you about diabetes. So in this way, it has been seen that we can achieve proper behavioral change and uh, actual tangible clinical outcomes, and we can both benefit from this kind of engagement. So it's more of a partnership between you and us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, doctor. I think I would also like to, take up that one point from here, that what is really unique for us, along with everything else that we provide for you, is the fact that we work on this together and ensure that we see the outcomes of this together. So our total aim becomes in helping you achieve the health goals, and your goals become our targets. In terms of the progress and how do we follow up, we give you a number of connected devices. We give from activity bands to smartwatches to glucometers to, if someone is suffering from blood pressure measuring devices as well, along with weighing scales. And we are continuously in touch with you about the progress, and we will ensure that not just you, but a caregiver of yours, if you want someone from the family to be in touch and be available and be able to see all your progress as well, we ensure and we aid all of that so that you get the most benefit out of this. Yes, all our packages are completely customized, like Dr. Shomarjit spoke about it. We understand your complete body needs and your lifestyle, and we understand what your health goals are, and we customize our plans accordingly to all of you. So while we will be having certain plans that we generally speak about, but each and every of them are customized to suit you and your requirement. Doctor, there's another question over here where someone is talking about urticaria and any other skin problems related to diabetes, and how can they be taken care of?
So let's talk about urticaria. Urticaria, it's actually two types. There can be acute urticaria or chronic urticaria, which is basically you have kind of an allergic reaction to anything that you're eating or due to hyperactive immune system in your own body. So it has been seen that urticaria is common in patients with diabetes. We deal with it because of, sometimes because the disease process itself, sometimes they are taking certain medicines like DPP4 inhibitors, known as gliptins. So these are commonly associated, and definitely they can be dealt with. So the most common way we deal with it is using an antihistaminic. So antihistaminics like sedative ones like cetirizine, levocetirizine, non-sedatives like fexofenadine, all these things given twice a day for 5 days reduces the eruptions of urticaria as well. The most common urticaria associated with diabetes is chronic urticaria. So that's a problem which will constantly keep happening. But if you control your sugars and your sugars are in a certain range, and again, your body is active, you're stress free, your stress hormones are less, all these things reduce the chances of getting urticarial rash. So that's my answer.
Thank you. There's another question by Ms. Jaya. Do you have plans for people having thyroid problem without diabetes? Ms. Jaya, we'd request you to get in touch with us, and we'd love to discuss this with you in further detail offline. Um, there's another question by Ms. Soumya. Is it possible to cure diabetes completely? And what are the conditions with which you can achieve this?
So, again, I would have to be very clear that diabetes is a chronic condition. Many people have been able to reverse the complications or reverse the progression of diabetes, but they have to be on constant monitoring. Once they are diagnosed with diabetes, it is possible by the process of self regulation to halt the progression and sometimes reverse it. Sometimes there is a genetic predisposition, how much you can adhere to a routine, but with only medicines, diabetes can't be cured. It's a chronic condition that you have to deal with. The only way to stop progression and reverse it is self-regulation, and we help you to do that.
Sure, absolutely. Um, I think with this, we come to the end of our session. Sorry, we went a little overboard than the time we set, but the questions really kept us on our toes and we found them very engaging. Hope you all had a very fulfilling session and you found something useful to take away with you today. Um, I, Snigdha here from Team Cora, we all would love to have you join us really soon. So we look forward to having you. Thank you so much.